I'm going to record this one. I have a good feeling. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
John Knefel is here. Hello, John.
Hey, how is it going?
Molly Knefel is here. Hello, Molly.
Hi, guys.
Am I wrong, or did you thread your eyebrows?
Well, I'm going to assume that you're just noticing how clean my eyebrows are. And the answer is I wanted to get them waxed, but instead she threaded them, and I hate threading them.
Yeah?
But were you reading my Twitter feed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Do you know what threading is?
No, I know she bought a new dress 2 weeks ago. I see that. I see. Question, is labor worse than the pain of getting your eyebrows threaded?
I think that getting your eyebrows threaded is the most specifically uncomfortable pain other than like cervical pain. That's why I asked that, because there's like certain types of very specific pain, and getting your eyebrows threaded is it's like different than if you're hit or cut, or like it's a very specific type of terrible pain.
It is. So you literally take a piece of thread and you twist it hard enough so that you run across the eyebrow or any piece of hair, and you take a line off your hair.
I don't even get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. My mother knows. It's like a very ethnic thing, I think. My mother used to do it. She would tie one part of the thread to the sink, the other part she would twist
To your
in
tooth?
Give a good shove.
And then we did our eyes.
And then the tooth fairy visited us, and we had a beautiful Middle Eastern time.
Now you go home from getting your eyes threaded, and if your husband doesn't say anything right away, that's got to be death.
Well, it's really something that I don't even, because I'm lucky enough to have married a man who doesn't care. So there's really no reason for me to do it. And I don't even do it that much. I do it like once every 6 months, which some people do it like once every 2 weeks. But I still do it here and there just because before my wedding, I forgot to do it. And I looked in the mirror like the morning of my wedding, and I was like, I've got bushy eyebrows right now, and I wish I had gotten them threaded. And so finally I was like, I was near the place where I usually do it, and I had time, and I did it. And then after every time, I'm like, never again. But no, Gideon doesn't notice.
We really asked the tough questions here.
Congratulations, by the way, on your wedding.
Thank you.
Chemda apologizes for not helping me remember.
Thank you for coming. Just kidding.
I felt very horrible. I texted Chemda. Well, Chemda texted me all of a sudden and said, "Where are you?" And I thought it's this hilarious joke we do on our day off where we stress the other person out.
That is a funny joke.
Right, it's hilarious. So then I get nervous, and then I go, "Oh, ha, ha, I know it's our day off." And she doesn't write back. Now, wouldn't it be her responsibility to go, "No, you're missing your friend's wedding that I'm at.
Put on your tuxedo shirt right now, and get down here."
So that's her fault. But I have a card for you nonetheless.
Check under your seat.
Oh, how nice. To Molly, whatever it is now. That's actually what the envelope says.
You can open it so people know I'm
I
carrying.
open it on the, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
It doesn't help me
you
if you
never
do it on
know.
your own time.
All right, so this is a card from Keith. It says, for baby's first birthday, and birthday is crossed out, and wedding is written in.
Congrats.
Admittedly, in very nice handwriting. That was you?
I tried to copy the way they wrote it.
You did, actually. It's actually, the graphic design is very, very impressive.
Thank you. Wendy got it, but I did it myself.
There's cash in it. Do you want me to count the cash on the...
It'd probably be the right thing to do.
Oh my God. I told him how much we gave him. I bet it's $5 more.
Wow, $101.
It's $1 more.
That is now you know who really cares.
That is very, very generous.
It's not even something to make note of.
I wish you wouldn't have brought it up.
Right. Also, at the end, I'm going to ask for it back. It's what they call a bit.
Prop money.
Right.
That is extremely generous of you, Keith. Thank you. Should I read the inside as well?
Of course. It took time.
So, again, I have to really spotlight the handwriting. It is exactly the same font as what the actual card says. But the actual card says, "Isn't it great? Isn't it fun? You're having a birthday wedding. And and you're turning 1 is crossed out, and you don't want to run."
Because when you love somebody, you want to stay around, and that's very exciting. Because some people bail in these weddings, I've heard.
Have a happy birthday wedding, and you didn't even cross out the word birthday, parentheses, which you did, exclamation point. Yay! And it's not even signed with a name.
Yay! Oh, that's the part. I'm like, is something missing? Let me see that.
You want it back?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
you're not going to get the cash back.
I assume that was like a symbolism thing, like it's from everybody.
Right. Love. No, it's not from everybody. Love from Keith
It's $101 from one specific person.
and Catherine. but it was all my money.
And Hugsy, you got to be cute about it.
And Hugsy.
Thank you.
Later on, add Hugsy.
Hugsy, Catherine, and Keith. That is very, very kind of you.
Stop
and you were
it.
missed. I did wonder where you were.
Oh, thank you. It was weird that you didn't text me. Did you
Yeah.
have too much going on?
I had a little bit too much going on, but
Okay.
you were on my mind, and you did text me the Sunday afterwards, and I texted you back.
And that's nice because all the festivities are done. The well wishes, you're not going to get any more until you start posting pictures.
Yeah, it's
right?
kind of a come down.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, ta-da, that day.
And actually getting a gift now is actually very nice too because most of the money has either gone to paying what necessary wedding expenses or put into boring savings accounts or so now it's like a bonus.
You can have a dinner or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And he doesn't know about this cash. You could just pocket it and go, he gave us a card. Isn't that nice?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So now I've got $101 that I don't have to share.
Well,
Take that, Gideon.
I felt very bad, and thank you and congrats.
You should not feel bad, except that it was a fun party.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean.
I'm not sure how you meant.
You would have had a very good time had you gone.
Not like bad, like, you should have been there, which...
But now, John, so you go to this wedding, of course. You're a supportive brother.
I was there.
Well, what's
You're a supportive brother.
now? You're an older brother, right?
Yes,
And you're single.
that's correct.
TikTok.
You're saying my biological clock is clicking.
Time's not.
It's just click,
I'm not
click,
saying
click.
time's going away, but time's not adding.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I'm not getting any younger.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for men, it's much easier.
No, it's not. No, I was just going with the shitty aspect of this.
You were about to be married, right?
That is, yes.
And you knew to call it off.
Well, that's not something that I am talking about publicly.
Me neither.
No.
This works out.
It's convenient for both of us.
Good. Well, how are you going to put a wedding together? None of you want to talk about it. Of course not. Good. All right. You have, of course, the both of you, the political show, Radio Dispatch.
We
right?
do.
Daily political podcast, right?
Yes.
Because shit's going on all the time. This is what I'm noticing, too. Some days I would go to the newsstand and be like, they're not going to have anything today. They always have something.
They've always got to have a new edition.
Day in, day out. So let me ask you some things about what's going on in the world today, and you tell me where you stand. I'm looking, last time, of course, for example, I'm looking at show notes, and I asked, do we bomb too little? Keith asked the Knefels for their thoughts on more political quandaries, and it went very well. It was a hit. So I'm going to ask you what you guys think on some topics, okay? All right. Summer vacation. Do teachers get paid enough? Keep in mind, summer vacation.
Keep in mind, Molly is a teacher.
Yeah.
But not a real teacher, right?
It's
in
true.
that you don't get paid for summer vacation.
I'm not a real teacher. That's true. You learned that just before we started recording, and I still, though, have. Whilst I wish I was getting paid over the summer, I have opinions on this. But I can let John answer
Okay,
first.
John?
More money for teachers.
More money for teachers.
Yeah,
Shocking.
especially in the summer.
Molly may disagree. Let's see. Molly?
I think teachers have too many Cadillacs. Just kidding. I do not
Blocking
think.
the buses.
I think that teachers, of course, need to get paid more. Yes, they have 2 months in the summer that they are not working, but their salaries are adjusted for that, basically, so that they can. Some teachers, in fact, don't get paid at all over the summer if they get paid during the 10 months of the school year, and then others spread it out throughout the summer.
They might need a second job, like a policeman.
When you were a kid, didn't you remember going to the mall and seeing your teachers working at Eddie Bauer?
No, but I
Oh,
would.
God, is that true?
Yeah,
Wow.
a lot of my teachers had second jobs because they did not get enough money.
I wanted my teachers to get a second job because they sucked at being a teacher, and I was hoping they would find their true calling during the summer.
Yeah, I see people like Molly being teachers. We never had teachers like this, meaning not one teacher I have ever inspired me in any way whatsoever. I happen to know where apostrophes go. That doesn't mean my English teacher gets an award. Do you know what I mean?
It's just
I had a proclivity for it.
There must have
duds
been.
in your past.
It's true. It's a hard thing with teachers because I think for a lot of us, especially creative people, they represent authority figures, and sometimes they represent people who are like making you learn stuff you don't want to learn. But at the same time, like they are doing a job that like very few people want to do, which is like caring daily for children.
Oh, they definitely didn't want to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of teachers, when I was a kid, there was a lot of teachers where I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But I think that it may be I feel like there's this stereotype like, oh, teachers are like in it for the money. But it's just, if you've ever been in a room full of children, you know that nobody would really do that if nobody would do it for the money. Maybe they do it for some other kind of reasons, like the insurance or something. But
There's
penance.
Insurance and scheduling.
Scheduling, yeah.
Right? Because you have the schedule of a family person. When your kids go to school, you go to school, that kind of thing.
Right. To some extent, although, teachers also spend a lot of time working outside of the actual school day. Like, I'm an after-school teacher. I'm in the building till 6, and regularly teachers are leaving at 6. And so, like, I feel like a lot of times people will say, it'd be so nice to be a teacher. Just roll in at 8 and roll out at 2:30. Yeah. But, like, they have to prepare all that.
You have to get up at like 7:30. You don't just wake up in the school,
Ride your skateboard to school.
Right. No, I wouldn't see teachers have second jobs, but I do remember an economics teacher that saw me working the buffet line at one of the restaurants in our small town. And I'm cutting the beef for him. It's some kind of humiliating day. They should be proud. Hey, look, this kid, 15, 16, working a job, whatever it was. But anyway, I just didn't want to see my teachers outside. It's almost like senior psychiatrist outside. Like, you're a person, you do things. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it is very weird.
So they have a teachers meeting at my restaurant where I'm busting tables, cutting their beef, So the economic teacher, he didn't like me. He goes to school next day and starts with why it's so important to know how to manage money. You're going to end up growing up cutting roast beef at the local. And
really?
And he was like, that's me you're talking about, you piece of shit. Like,
that's such a bully move.
It's so
That's
simple.
mean.
You have roast beef and have to give adults the cheesecake that it says it's on special but isn't available that day at Oakhurst Tea Room. Right, Kate, you fuck?
Like, what did he expect? Like, there's only a certain amount of jobs available.
As a
As
15-year-old.
a 15-year-old, one of those is cutting roast beef. It's not, you haven't worked for NASA yet.
And also, I wasn't a good roast beef cutter, so that was more embarrassing, too. Because every slice is probably, sorry, Jim Tater. Sorry, Archie.
A lot of gristle on this one.
Right. All right, this one's an easy one. ISIS. How do we stop them?
It is easy.
What do we do?
Oh, I thought that you had an answer.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking a big bomb, but knowing you guys, it's like, I doubt it. How about we talk to them? Is there a middle ground?
between
talking to them,
talking to ISIS and
bombing them.
I like that. I like the
bomb.
looks on your faces every time Keith asks you a question.
One big bomb, if you have an idea, I'm not opposed to it.
It could be lots of little tiny bomblets.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking one big scary bomb to wake them up, give them time to move. We're serious.
Like like an air horn?
An air horn, if you will.
So you want an air horn first to scare them, and then giant bomb.
I am so into warnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them
I love warnings. I tell my wife, you didn't give me enough warnings to do the dishes.
I'm glad that you didn't say I give my wife a lot of warnings. It's better that she gives you warnings.
No, he didn't get enough warnings for your wedding, which is why he didn't show up.
That's true. I should have texted him the night before.
Yeah.
Been like, remember, here's your 10-minute warning.
Thank you. So I guess we just do medium bombs.
medium bombs and a lot of leaflets, I think is your strategy.
How does ISIS get Americans, for example, to join them? What are they putting on these websites that's so attractive? We join them, then they come over and go, oh, it was so tough. I had to eat sand and shoot Americans.
Well, first of all, their SEO is very strong.
I don't know
like
what they're doing.
There are legitimately human beings named ISIS, named after like the god, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're crushing it on Google, this bad ISIS group.
Are they showing like a hot dog eating contest and go, this is what they do for fun? Yeah, that's not right. I'm joining. What even looks appealing?
Like people are running away from Joey Chestnut and his 70 hot dog.
That's too much.
Things.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I got to get out of this country.
What is attractive to
modesty?
These, but they don't stick with it. They're always surprised. But by the video, they're not showing videos of like spas, and we tricked you.
It's videos of like young guys doing like young military guy things. And people, young military guys find that attractive.
It's the same as like our army videos, army ads, army commercials.
So the army ads just got to be clear that we eat better.
Yeah.
And you can kill things.
You can still do it.
Yeah.
That should be the Army's motto. You can still do it. We'll still give you a gun.
And then show somebody like on fire and like your commanders aren't everywhere.
Yeah, the ISIS propaganda. It's like it's surprisingly slick. A lot of it actually feels like it's produced with fairly good cameras.
Is it slick? Because I saw a beheading video. I couldn't be more bored.
Oh yeah,
They're getting a little artsy. Right? Military people, we don't care for artsy too much.
You see the looks on their faces?
Just
That's
straight,
for you.
Straight ahead.
Yeah, if you watch, I watch a military commercial, right? Marine Corps. And I'm like, oh, you fight a volcano monster right away.
Yeah, those videos are like definitely modeled after, I think, Call of Duty, right? They're just like, you like playing video games, go to war,
You see a truck go over shit. I remember when I was in the military and we're watching we're graduating boot camp, and they show video of, a tank jumping, people running, things exploding.
Meanwhile, if all that's happening, you're in trouble.
Right, and you get excited, so you're supposed to go hoo-ah, and then like everybody like got the joke right away. Where then they showed somebody typing, hoo-ah, yeah, typing. We love it, and they couldn't go shut up. We know it's sarcastic. No one likes typing. Oh, you guys took that. Okay, all right. Well, we need typers. All right, so how do we stop them? What do we decide on? I'm a little
Well, we were talking about how ISIS gets more people.
Yeah,
but the slick video seems to attract people that don't get regular TV.
There was just some.
This is why you should get Call of Duty for your kids.
Keep them away. There was just some company that said that they had a new algorithm to remove this kind of propaganda from Facebook and Twitter, like as it gets posted, sort of like the way that digital copyrighted material gets automatically removed. I don't know if that is actually going to do it or not.
Is that bad news? Censorship?
I mean, it certainly could be, but I mean, I think that there's a lot of attention posted on like. At the very end of this like line where you have people who are unhappy for whatever reason, and they see a Facebook post or a tweet or whatever, and people are trying to disrupt like that connection instead of saying, why are there so many people in the United States who appear so ready to be receptive to this message? And it's because they don't have enough good teachers, just like you. So I think that you might be at risk.
What is at the end of these videos? What are their disclaimers? That must be a long...
Lots of people were harmed in the making of this.
It came out how many civilians were hurt by Obama's drones, and it seemed like it was in the low hundreds.
The official count now is between 64 and 116.
Is that bullshit? That is low.
Yeah, it's super low. It has to be. Yeah, I mean, every outside group says that it's between like 200 and 600 or 300 and 800.
Have we ever had a president that was a decent human being? Or, you guys do your job, you realize everybody's a scumbag, right?
Everyone's kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
I mean,
as people who want to be politicians, I think. I haven't seen Wiener yet, the documentary, but...
Oh, I'm sure it's good.
But, like...
A great, pure, honest guy that just wanted to show his dick on the side.
But, thinking... John saw it, and we were talking about it on our show, and just thinking about, like, the type of people drawn to be politicians. I don't know. I don't think... To me, there's a big difference between people who are like, I feel like people talk about politicians like, oh, they're people who are like moved to change the world. And I feel like there's a huge difference between people who are moved to change the world and people who are moved to be politicians. And I feel like people who are moved to be politicians largely are people who are obsessed with power more than they're necessarily obsessed with like making the world a better place.
I hear you. So
I mean, Obama's a cool dad and a cool guy. I like Obama a lot as a dad and a guy.
I think he might be a decent ex-president.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great ex-president.
He's funny.
He's super funny, super charming, still very handsome, talented, like multi-talented.
He could be on like that new Match Game easily.
Or Miss Universe.
What's that?
Yeah.
New Match Game?
Alec Baldwin is doing a Match Game. And you want to talk about selling out. Not only is he the host of the Match Game, Sarah Palin was one of the celebrities.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know the classic game, the Match Game?
No.
Okay, so they're bringing it back.
Okay, good. Now we've cleared that up.
Imagine the greatest game show of all time.
Okay.
They're bringing it back.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Why didn't somebody tell me about this beforehand?
Mass shootings, kind of a bummer, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
Do you need Molly or John? Do you need consoled after this happens? Because you guys, when I see it, yes, it's a shame, but I'm like, yeah, again. And I happen to have, unfortunately, that I have this kind of way of thinking. But my wife almost feels the same way. We're shocked, but then we're like, but of course. Does your husband have to console you? Are you crying? Is it a big mess because you're obviously more empathetic than I am?
I think it kind of depends. I think with mass shootings, your empathetic reaction is inversely proportional to the extent to which you could imagine that it could be you. And I feel like the reason why mass shootings in general affect, like, why they move people in this country, I think, is because they're like, in some ways, I don't think this is really the case, but in some ways, they're like the great equalizer of violence, where like so many types of violence are so much more likely to be inflicted on certain types of people,
right.
Mostly marginalized people, right? And then with a mass shooting, it's this, it's like a lottery. Like, well, you never know. You could be at the mall, you could be at the post office,
right.
You could be at a school, like wherever it is. And so in that way, I think everybody's terrified of them because everybody's like, I've been to a movie, and so right. Like they can feel empathy in a way that they won't feel it when they hear about some other horrific, violent problem. But yeah, so like for me, like Sandy Hook was like very scary to me because I imagine what it would be like being in a school and having that happen. And then I
what
feel
grade
like
again? How old were they?
They were first graders.
Okay.
But then for like Orlando, I feel like obviously like gay people and queer people and trans people were like, well, that's terrifying because we know that we face violence when we go out in public anyway, right? And so I feel like it kind of just depends on the extent to which you feel like you can identify with this thing that's totally an abstraction, but is like right. American life. Like anybody could die in a mass shooting, even if you're privileged in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, when I say, oh, don't go skydiving, somebody says I can be hit by a bus. The new thing should be I can be shot tomorrow.
We could all be shot by a mass shooter.
That one makes more sense.
They can, it's the great meritocracy of fucking violence in this country.
Right. But you have shot at a can before, right? It is fun.
I thought I've talked about this on the show before, where the only times I've ever shot a gun, I started crying immediately and I almost vomited. I do not like a gun.
I almost cried when I shot a gun too.
It's very emotional.
Very much. Thank you, Molly. I don't care if we did have this discussion before.
Maybe we did it.
Have it again.
Maybe we did it. It's something that I have disclosed to people here and there that I'm like, I have a physical, visceral reaction to it was a lot. Gun.
But it's weird because Molly names the gun, names the beer can she's shooting at. It makes it a whole play.
Yeah, make it personal.
A whole morality play.
Right.
Do you think this has to do with gun laws?
I do, but I also think that I actually feel like gun control, I don't know. I feel like the ship has kind of sailed on gun control. We are so armed that it's hard for me to even imagine what laws would reduce the amount of guns there are. Like, I mean, in my utopia, like, I'm going to get crap for this, but in my utopia, like, there aren't guns. Like, I'm not trying to...
But it's too late for that.
It's too late for that.
Yeah.
And so, like, gun control, I think that there should
By
be...
the way, remind Keith the day before your utopia happens because he's going to need a text. Otherwise, he's not going to
Just let me know.
I'll give you a warning.
Thank you.
But then I'm afraid you might keep one. No, like, I think there should be gun control, of course. Like, of course there should be, assault weapons bans and background checks and all of that. But I also feel like it is short-sighted to blame it only on that, because I feel like the problem has to do with, like, I don't know,
mental illness, hatred,
and even deeper than that, like American violence, like the whole, like, it's part of our heritage, right? Like, we were cowboys, like we colonized this land. Yeah, we took it. Like, it's like it's a big phallic symbol. It's like it's so. Like, the whole thing of, like, you can take it from my cold, dead hands. It's, like, part of the American psyche is, like, we've got guns. And I feel like...
But the Wild West didn't work. Why are we not knowing?
Right.
It didn't, right? Otherwise, we would still be enjoying saloons and shit,
Yeah,
right?
just have one sheriff walking around.
Right.
Yeah, and
help, like, wanted signs would be, like, all we need.
Right. Yeah, John's been watching a lot of Deadwood lately. I had to stop watching Deadwood because I thought it was too scary.
Yeah, like, could you watch The Purge?
I could watch The Purge. The more over the top the violence, the more I can cope with it.
Okay.
I thought that the second Purge was one of the most fantastic movies.
Oh boy,
of
sorry,
all time.
John. Keith.
Oh, that's sweet. That's like if one of these.
that's
It's
so
like a
great.
slasher movie, but they threw in a political sentence here again,
I see.
and he's been tricked. But he had fun. Fuck
Are
it.
you gonna see?
They were catering to John's
I can't wait
sensibilities.
until it's the Purge in real life, and then you and
Right.
I are gonna go at it now that you've insulted my love of the Purge.
But at least you guys would have figured it out by the end of the day, and we could move on with our lives.
exactly.
Not only am I gonna see the third one, John, I have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Is it
Take
good?
that.
I see everything. It was
Just not my wedding.
It was. I actually have so much free time, guys.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Every morning I wake up and I say I can do whatever I want.
Nothing to do again today.
I wish I had cake though for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, but it's very stupid. I do think those movies could be a little deeper. I do want to see a movie called The Purge Year One. And you see it, it's 7:01 p.m. and somebody has a gun about to shoot the neighbor and being like, I really can do this?
is
Like,
this-
I can't do this.
Is this okay?
Right.
That would be a good sketch.
Right.
Purge the first purge.
Right.
Yeah, people hesitating like, "Hey Johnny."
Right.
Ooh,
So-
bang.
Right. So they're not clear on TV. It's Eastern Standard Time, right? It has to be. Everything's Eastern Standard Time.
So I'm gonna rape you, but it's not rape because it's the purge. Oh, that's what she meant by rape.
Right. It was during
Oh,
the
whoopee.
Yeah. Roman Polanski and The Purge. Hollywood has their own Purge.
I'm gonna see the third Purge very soon, and I'm gonna come back on here, and we're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the second one again too, so I can come with like.
Oh, this will be some debate.
line by line notes.
Yeah. You'll say your notes and I'll go, okay.
Can you please do this on a My Name is Keith while you're drunk?
Yeah.
That would be so good.
Yeah, I would listen to that.
I liked it. I remember leaving like, oh, I liked it. And everybody's like, yay, I'll definitely see it. That's a 10 for Keith.
Can we ask about Hillary Clinton and the emotional trauma she's enduring?
Sure.
Poor dear.
And go.
It's a lot.
The email situation.
So this is another thing where I feel like there's all sorts of there's reasons why something's wrong, and then the reason that everybody thinks it's wrong is not the reason that it's wrong. I feel like everyone thinks that
When you're done, I still get to be mad, right? Okay.
yes,
Just
but
promise.
just for a different reason.
Okay.
Like everyone thinks that. I feel like there's all conservatives hate Hillary because like they think that she like orchestrated Benghazi or whatever, and like that her emails, like I don't even know what the conservative connection is like from like emails, Benghazi. Like,
Right.
but that what I learned from John is that there actually is like important reasons that the Secretary of State should not be using a private email server.
Go on.
And then now
Oh,
I'm
do tell.
gonna flip it over to John.
Yeah, I mean the legitimate critique of it, I think, is that she was trying to get away from FOIA laws and from record request.
I know, of course, but
things.
for those who don't know, what does that mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So FOIA, Freedom of Information
Okay.
Act, mandates that public officials keep their public records, and emails count as public records.
What am I hearing about that everyone is doing the same thing and she got the spotlight on her?
Well, when it comes to other secretaries of state, it's not. That's a line that she has said, but like when you're talking about Colin Powell, that doesn't really count because nobody was really using email. I think that he had like an AOL account, like, back in the early 2000s, and he was actually trying to get people to use email more. So if you take him off, there are some other officials.
But why are we taking him off if he didn't follow protocol, if he didn't do that, even if we were only starting to use email?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't know to what extent like the protocols like were the same or weren't the same back then. Maybe it was. I don't know if it's been updated that government officials necessarily have to use a .gov email
I heard they did,
address
and
like back in the early 2000s.
I heard that at the same time, other people were doing the same thing with the personal and the business email, and nobody was stopping anybody from doing that. And she wasn't the only one, and she's being pinpointed because of various reasons, including that she is the first female, potentially the first female president.
I mean,
That it's a sexist thing. You could say it's somebody running for president, and you're doing it. And honestly, I don't even care who else was doing it. They're not running for president.
But before we even touch on that, don't you think that
Her
generally
outfits are dopey, and it's a shame you can't say that. People pick on the way I dress. I think it's okay.
I don't know how she's supposed to dress, but
Sleeveless shirts.
Not
Seriously.
like Kim Jong-un.
She's dressed in a business suit. I don't get it.
Yeah,
But
you get it a little
generally,
bit.
isn't it?
For the record, she gets it a little bit.
There's no way that she's not going to face sexism. There's just no way.
I feel like also with Hillary Clinton, there is like all sorts. I mean, I think with sexism as with racism, like that there are certain things you can never like filter out like for sexism, like the way that the way that a lot of people, I think the way that everybody, like we're all racist, even if we're not actively card carrying racist, right? Because we all live in the system.
I just had a debate about this, and the different, like, an Elsa Waith corrected me that, because I also agree that we're all racist, but she corrected me and said we're all prejudiced, maybe not racist, because racist has a negative intention, and we don't intend to be racist, but there is, so much information that makes us prejudiced and biased, and
right? Yeah,
negatively, of course.
And we live in a racist system.
Were black people at your wedding?
Yeah,
and it would not have bothered me. Now it's weird I didn't go.
Yeah,
to keep it in the abstract,
just for the record.
Yeah, like I feel like just as you can make a legit critique of Barack Obama's policies and also say that the vast majority of the way that Republican congressmen treat him has to do, I think, is informed in some ways, direct or indirect, by racism. I think with Hillary, there are legitimate critiques that can and should be made of her policies, of her history, of her actions, and also everything that everybody says about her is sexist, because of course it is, right? Like, it doesn't mean that there aren't certain things that you should still criticize her for. I think you have to. Like, it is. I get very frustrated seeing women who I otherwise really look up to who will shut down any critique of Hillary. But I also think, of course, it has to do. I think the scrutiny that is put on her is hugely because she's a woman, and that's been the case. I mean, Republicans have hated Hillary Clinton
and
for 20 years.
We've been very critical about her, I think, in this show, but we're also getting pushback on like too much criticism. So I'm trying to see, like, some of the articles that I read legitimately stated that she was not the only one to do that. She was following the same amount of policy that other people were. No one was stopping her before this. No one told her, hey, did you know that we needed to do this? And they were responding to these emails. Why didn't she get a heads up? Why are we just focused on her?
I mean, there was an entire Inspector General's report that came out recently where people within the State Department helping to set up her private server system, mid-level people said, hey, I think that this is screwed up. And
especially since when you're telling me to do it, you're whispering to me, and you lock the door.
And like upper level aides said, you never mention this again. Do not bring this up again. Which is to say that there were people within the State Department raising issues about this, but they were shut down internally because it was clearly it was Clinton's desire to have this system completely separate from, at least she thought, separate from records requests.
Are you voting for Hillary?
If I lived in the Midwest still, I would. If I was still in either Iowa or Minnesota, I would.
What does that mean?
Well, I think that
New
New York is is such a blue state. It's so safe. I mean, if
everyone keeps thinking that.
Well, I mean, if the unthinkable happens and it really looks like New York could be a toss-up state, which I don't think it's been in a presidential election.
Are you not voting
forever.
because you're against Hillary?
I mean, I probably won't vote for Hillary Clinton while I live in New York. And again, if she's trailing in the polls in New York, then I'll vote for her.
But why not? You don't want to vote for this person.
No.
You'll only vote for her to get out of Trump.
Yeah.
Why?
I disagree with a lot of her foreign policy. I think she's very, very hawkish. I think that this private server thing really does trouble me. I think that the reason that taking paychecks of greater than $200,000 from Goldman when she knew that she was going to be running in, and she should have known.
Is this
that,
not normal, taking money from big corporations?
Well, again, like, I mean, do like David Petraeus goes on the speaking circuit, like, and makes $1 bazillion, and what he did with leaking classified information was far, far worse than Hillary Clinton. So yeah, like a lot of people go on the speaking circuit and sell their, like, the illusion of access to them. Like, it's not that uncommon, but
can't even say to your parents they all do it.
Yeah, but it shows a bad strategic mindset when I think she should have known that she was going to be running in an environment that was very, very critical of
There's no
Wall
way for her
Street,
not to have known
of
that.
the elites, of a lot of skepticism of Washington and of these insider institutions. She had to know that that's the environment that she was going to be running in, and she still decided to take these huge paydays for single speeches, which she still hasn't released. She still hasn't released the transcripts.
She wants
of
us to
those.
have it, she says.
And, yeah,
she doesn't know how to give these $1 million speeches to us. She wants the American public to see these emails. She doesn't know how to get it to us. And that shows to me a dumb president, to not know how to get it to us. Because you really want everything to be clear.
Well, I mean, what I think it shows is that her political coming of age in the 90s, she got burned so consistently and so regularly, and was treated very, very unfairly. And I think learned that if you give the public an inch, they will take a mile, and they will try to end your political career. If you give your enemies an inch, if you relax control an inch on anything, then that spells doom. And I think that the kind of politician she is to exert total control over, like, her emails, exert total control over these transcripts of these speeches. People talk about how unfavorable Donald Trump is to the press. Hillary Clinton's campaign is also has a very negative relationship with the press also. So yeah, I disagree with her on a lot of substantive issues.
Does Trump have a chance?
You want to go?
Well, I think that both of us think that it should not be that the worst thing that could happen is people saying, like, no way, he doesn't have a chance, like, because
that's how he got this far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People thought that he was a joke. People thought you can't take him seriously.
What about the people who are saying, fuck it, let him be president?
Those people are out of their mind.
That's terrible.
Yeah, because there's real people's lives at stake here.
Look in Keith's eyes right now. Can you say that in Keith's eyes?
Look at that. John will convince me that it's boring to go to the polls, and I just won't show up either.
Yeah.
John votes. He just doesn't vote for...
As long as we don't remind Keith the day before, it'll be fine. This is one of those problems with the built-in solution, guys.
If anybody asks me that day, where you at, though, it's all going to click. I promise.
Yeah.
People walking around with stickers. Yeah. Really going to throw him.
Just make sure it's a day off and don't text him.
Going back real quick to Hillary's clothes. Do you think she wants to dress better and more comfortably, but she doesn't want to give the people the satisfaction?
It's
like poor Kiss. They can't take off that makeup. They're like, why'd we go 12-inch platform?
For the record, these are people who don't mind if Trump gets elected because let's have fun with it. Please answer that ridiculous question.
What do you think a woman should dress like? Because it's impossible to dress up when you're a woman.
You see a woman, one of your friends, and you go, oh my God, I love your outfit.
Why do you need to love her outfit?
What?
Why do you need to love her outfit?
Why do you need to love your friend's outfit?
And
I don't need to love my friend's outfit.
Do you tell some people you love their outfit and then some days you do not?
I never said, hey, look at what Obama...
Why do we have to... Because Obama dresses nice. No shit, you wouldn't say that.
Because it's men wear a suit. With a woman, there's a lot of variables. And yes, you might see your friend on the street or at the club and be like, hey, you look nice. But when was the last time that you were like... in, the White House and spotting ladies walking down the hallway and just being like, although you would, you'd be like, hey, looking good.
I would just want to make sure they're smiling and having a good day.
Remind them of such. Right.
Also, while you're at it, ask them what they were wearing during their rape.
It's okay to say that she dresses horribly.
But what do you think? I just want to hear what you think she should wear.
A tutu.
That makes sense.
Because if she goes
Start with
sexy, then
start
it's
with-
going to be like, ooh, you're an old lady. We don't want that.
I did mean a bustier. Start with different colors.
Why does she need different
She
colors?
wears a lot of different colors. She wears yellow, pink,
All yellow,
blue.
all pink, all purple, all
when
blue.
did this start bothering you, women's suits?
Not women's suits. She bothers me.
Yeah, but that's...
Do you see what I'm talking about?
No, I think it's a thing to go to when I see you compliment some women and not others.
What
For
if
example,
Obama wore a pink suit or a yellow suit? You would be like, too many colors.
Yeah, if it's all one color, no, he offsets it with the tie like a gentleman. They have stylists for a reason. Use one.
I think
we're
we'd-
probably paying taxes. This is what bothers me on Hillary's
Jesus.
stylist.
Oh, Christ.
Stay
Oh, my
home
God.
again today, she's saying. No, my taxes are going to that. If you're not fixing the
What
water
taxes
supply,
are going to what suit?
I pay them.
Oh, God.
I, for one, would love to see Obama in an all pink suit.
Right?
Yeah. He wore that like linen suit one time and everyone laughed at him forever.
Yeah, he wore that kind of like tan linen suit.
Yeah, and everyone was like,
Oh, did somebody judge a man?
they did.
Whoa. Whoa.
The great equalizer.
Is that a ghost sound?
Whoa, I'm so scared I died. Ooh.
To answer the other question, though, people who are like, screw it, let's just have President Trump. That's a terrible. I completely
That's a
disagree
scary-
with that.
Those people don't have anything. Those people, I think, have lived existences that have taught them that they might not have that much to lose. Thus, like if you are afraid of the very material and immediate things that you might lose with a different president, like for people with uteruses, it is often like reproductive freedom. Like you are.
What about people with podcasts after Trump said that he would arrest anybody who talked negatively about him?
That
What about
too.
that? We're all looking at you this time, Keith.
But that doesn't seem right.
Good morning.
Thank you,
that's not
Chemda.
fair.
All you had to do was talk nice.
Did I just talk nice? Oh, I finally wore the right thing and said the right thing.
In the
That's
right
so nice.
combination.
Oh, good. Was my hair less frizzy today? Yay.
Sarcasm from this president also, I'm not going to stand for. Thank you. No, I am not pleased with this Trump. Tell your friends.
Yeah,
thank you.
you're not in favor.
Not when you find out that anybody that writes a negative article on him, he's kicking out of the press corps. No, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. What was the?
I mean, see, I would vote for Trump, so all this crazy shit happens, and he keeps saying dumb stuff on the microphone, but then you don't let people report on it? Well, then there's no point. Now I don't vote for you, because I'm not going to find out the dumb shit you say, because you don't let him in.
For the record, I've said this before, but I feel like we need to have you guys in the room to legitimize it. So thank you and your blonde selves.
That's our role pretty much everywhere we go.
Thank you. Yes,
just bringing blonde legitimacy to things that Chemda has been saying forever.
I'm
Bringing
surprised.
the Aryan race to Middle Eastern views.
I'm surprised Chemda even noticed your hair color.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
odd
I
to
see
me.
color.
She doesn't see hair color.
I see all the color.
She doesn't see the cut, right? Let me mention this, please. ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Putting your job in one place, that's not enough. You're going to find quality. You're going to put your information in one place, and that's how you're going to find the best candidate.
That seems dumb.
And you even have a company.
Yeah, we're not even allowed to have just one social media account. We've got to be on Twitter, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, even as just this job needs different platforms.
I downloaded Snapchat and I sent one snap and I don't know what happened.
See?
And I guess you gave up. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top sites, and now you can.
Are you trying to not find the perfect hire?
With ZipRecruiter.com, you post your job to 100 plus job sites. That's how it works, including social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, all in one single click. Click, done. In fact, I made it sound harder. I had done. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll into ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails, calls to the office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. They're used by over 800,000 businesses. I guess because they stink. No, because they're the best. They rule schools. And right now,
Like schools with good teachers and stuff.
listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/talent.
So what do you have to lose?
TALENT. You're looking for talent. Here's how. ZipRecruiter.com/talent. One more time. Try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/talent. Okay? Thank you.
You got to do it. Nothing to lose.
Why would I want your business to fail?
You want everyone to succeed.
I want everyone to succeed.
So they could wear the right suits.
So you're not going to succeed looking like an
Oh
asshole.
my God. Now, if you're going to wear a pink suit to your interview, throw in one other color.
Just
You
to
might be-
offset it.
Just to offset it. I mean, Keith Malley knows his shit.
Yeah, Keith might be interviewing you.
Hire him for this
When
job.
we interviewed Danny, do you think he wore all pink? No.
Interview me.
We didn't. We just looked at your penis and hired you. See what we do wrong? Learn from us.
Yeah, we learned our lesson. 4 years, we can't get rid of him. I saw him in our chat room before he worked here.
Uh-huh.
He takes his dick out because he wants a girl to show her tits. She showed one tit. He showed the dick because he felt bad. Like, that's just, I wouldn't even want to see one.
We should have went on ZipRecruiter.
That's odd, yeah.
You don't want to see one boob?
No, for what? It's like, what am I? Who's that artist that draws like an asshole? Picasso.
That's why they keep me around.
Who's that artist? Picasso.
It's always Picasso.
We should have a test. Like Danny just stands on stage and we go, "Who's the actress that I liked last year for like 5 minutes?"
Scarlett Johansson.
That's right.
Thanks, Danny.
What's the show, Danny?
Bloodline.
Bloodline. that's right.
Bloodline.
Yeah.
I like Bloodline.
Well, that's wrong.
What should you never spoil things for?
Game
What-
of Thrones.
Thank you.
And Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls, excellent.
Esther Levy, she's 61 years old. She said an employee at a popular Cancun Inn eatery in Sugarloaf told her to leave the store because of her Make America Great Again hat and a Trump button.
Fine.
Yeah.
She was joined by a retired local judge. She took a seat and ordered 2 sangrias from a smiling waitress without incident, but then the server comes back and says, "You got to go."
Could the server say that though?
She says the man was identified himself as a coworker and said that you're supporting Donald Trump and you have to leave. She says, quote, "On the way out, the co-owner decided to yell at me and humiliate me." None of this happened. I wish. "We don't serve Trump supporters here. Get out of here and never come back. The man told me that Hillary was going to win, even in her dopey outfits. I certainly won't be back there. It was horrific what happened. I'm not used to being thrown out of restaurants," says a Trump supporter. Right?
Yeah, right.
The Cancun Inn's Facebook page was bombarded with criticism after she posted this. An employee of ours, she said she was not thrown out for wearing Trump gear. That's what she's told. An employer of ours asked the person to leave because they were being rude to the staff and rowdy. She says, "That's ridiculous." Oh, you know that. Then she did it. Nothing further from the truth. They made it very clear why we were kicked out. It was because I was a Trump supporter, and that's it. I was told that as a private business, they could refuse to serve whoever they want when I called the police. I don't expect anything to come of that. This America, I'm implying. She's furious because she was a loyal customer for 25 years. Then she showed her true colors, and this incident that never happened occurred.
Where she wasn't screaming and yelling
Right.
and berating the staff, I'm sure.
She seems very calm, and
Yeah.
somehow this made the paper. "I know one of the owners. He would greet me every time I came in. I never had a problem, but he wasn't there on Sunday, and I didn't recognize this guy."
The owner knows what I order every time. I just have to be like, I was here yesterday. Just give me the thing.
Well, you didn't get word from the owner the next day. You knew him. Say what their staff is doing.
I honestly don't know how I would feel if this wasn't like against my own personal shit. Because it's shitty to kick someone out of a restaurant because of a hat. But I think Keith might be right that that's not all that happened.
I don't think
and also I'm biased on this one, and I don't know how to undo that.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like
just don't.
it's tricky, right? Because I'm like, well, it's you don't. It's like, right, we don't want to kick people out of restaurants, but if she was wearing a hat with a racial slur on it,
Right.
I feel like it wouldn't be objectionable to be like, no racial slurs on hats are allowed in my restaurant. And I feel like those hats are basically racial slurs without racial slurs. Make America Great Again is like hearkening on very, very, very specific racist ideas, and it's worn by a racist. And so I feel like if we could agree that like a hat with an explicit racial slur would be like fair to kick somebody out of your restaurant, maybe we wouldn't agree on that either. But I feel like that's basically what I would feel
It
like
is
about
because
that,
that is your response to the word Trump, right? But people wear people's logos all the time, and those logos have monsters behind them. So it's hard to it's hard to say that this represents, a racial slur.
Right.
When, Keith and the Girl gear could represent, potty mouths and the other side of the fence, whatever it is that, offends other people that we
Right.
speak very openly about. So that's hard. I don't want to defend this, so shut the fuck up.
Well, and I mean, there are all those bakeries that refuse to cater to gay weddings.
The thing is they're allowed to do that, and what happens is they lose business once it goes into the news like this. So it sort of like cleans itself up by the majority, which is what democracy is, right? Right, everybody? Fuck this fucking ass and their hats. It's so... I hate this shit.
Yeah, I mean, watching Trump become normalized like this has been so weird. And just like it really feels to me like
you're reminded of how stupid everybody is around you.
Like that, and also reminded of how potentially fragile a lot of American institutions are. Like the fact that the GOP was not able to to rein him in or to find somebody else. It speaks to like how. I don't know how precarious the moment in the country is right now.
Not to think about people. All I know is my co-host compared me to Trump, who's compared to Hitler. That's all I heard. But okay, this is some merchandise we sell. All right, let me mention Blue Apron, please. All right,
Sorry about that.
Blue Apron is how I get my food. You know what I tried to do the other day? Even though I'm a subscriber of Blue Apron, I tried to make my own food. Like all of a sudden I'm going advanced. Right? Look what happened. Oil jumped out of the pan, spilled in between when I'm flipping like an asshole because I'm not following directions. The oil goes in between my sock, and I had shoes on, between the sock and my skin. So I'm trying to rip off, open the... Watch it. Listen to the reaction. Watch it.
So he spilled oil on his foot. Oh, my God.
Lord.
That's going to be in a
Oh,
picture.
God, Keith.
That's going behind
boy.
explicit. That's why Keith gets Blue Apron.
Yeah, I don't mess around. They give you the ingredients. They tell you exactly what to do. Don't splash like an asshole, rule number 1. But Blue Apron gives you the right amount. Let's say you're making a meal, for example, creamy shrimp fettuccine with sautéed green beans and spinach. You have the exact amount of spinach, exact amount of green beans, everything portioned out just so. So you're really cooking. You are learning, but you're not wasting any food. You get a 4-star meal. You can wear a Trump hat. Nobody knows nothing. Whatever you want.
Erin Case posted on our Facebook page for the Keith and the Girl group, and she made chicken piccata. Check this out.
Ooh.
Damn, that looks good.
This person does not cook. Same meal, also made by another fan. Got to show you the picture. Look at this, guys. Shout out to Jose. What's up with this? Delicious.
Wow.
These are, you see the herbs, you see all the things that are good for you, and you still want to eat it.
Yeah.
Right? And to cleanse the palate,
Oh. How did you get oil between your sock and your skin?
it's a gift. It's a talent. If these Team USAs have talent, this is my talent.
Are your socks really baggy?
Well,
Do
they're
you need
not
some new socks?
It's not compression socks, but I think they're normal socks.
It's like the socks when you're like riding the rails in the 1910s.
So here's what you do for Blue Apron. We're going to give you 3 free meals with free shipping. Go to blueapron.com/KATG. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. Do not wait. That's blueapron.com/KATG. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
We're going to post the pictures of the listeners' meals. And also what I did with my last box that I got is I spread out all the things. I got the proteins, the side dishes, the pasta, whatever it was, and I put it on a table. You got to see how much you get, and you're going to get all of this for free. So check out keithandthegirl.com for pictures from this episode.
All right. In Disneyland, they're taking away every reference of crocodiles and alligators.
Oh, solved. Everything's okay now.
Well, maybe just stop breeding alligators in your pools. But I think outside the box.
Like all the dolls and things also?
Yeah.
Really? That
Yeah.
is a strange reaction.
They have
Yeah,
started...
it's kind of like, just pass me any Band-Aid, right?
And it's also like blaming alligators
Right.
like alligators are wild animals, you know?
Yeah, the doll is not going to kill anyone.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't have alligators. Well, fuck alligators. We don't have them in our store anymore.
Their first idea was making 2-year-old boy dolls. and then keep the alligators. But they're like, let's just get rid of everything. It's too much. The park has started purging every reference to crocodiles and alligators at the rides and displays in response to the 2-year-old boy being eaten by an alligator. They took out the Louie, the trumpet-playing gator, from The Princess and the Frog.
I guess maybe they're concerned that right now it's a trigger. It does seem like a very weird response.
There are a lot of Disney movies with alligators in them. Like
Now you see a big blur of TikTok and what's that movie, Danny?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
yes, that was exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and
Good
you would just
Danny
see
Hatch.
this. You would just see this blur in the water when he's trying to get Captain Hook.
I understand them taking out some of the stuff because they have, dolls that look like or blankets that look like the alligator is eating you. That
Yeah,
take out.
get rid of
That's
that.
bad.
And like if the guy playing in the band, like tell him not to attack anyone, like keep that under wraps.
Right.
The famous Jungle Cruise boat ride will no longer include a joke one-liner from the captain, which was, quote, "Watch your children or the crocodiles will." I guess
They should take that out.
You can put a break on that one.
Yeah, that's
Although
for the
political
best.
correctness gone crazy.
Gone
That's-
amok.
We've
That's-
had that since 62.
But this is the thing. Like, I feel like there are so many, like, again, actually, like, people. Everyone's like, "Oh, political correctness run amok," and like, this is people will point to this. They'll be like,
Right.
"They cleansed all the alligators." Meanwhile, like, there's there's so many other horrible things that have happened in our history that we won't ever apologize for. But the alligator, we're like, we have to pretend alligators never existed.
The effort to nix gator references is so thorough that
Look at this. We won't get rid of guns because they just killed
Yeah.
people.
Yes, exactly.
But alligators.
well, no joke, they would have Captain Hook running around, in an outfit, of course, and the alligator running around chasing Captain Hook. So I guess you can't have an alligator running around. That is a little too much. The effort to nix gator references is so thorough that guides have been told not to mention them on even more obscure rides, such as the Kilimanjaro Safari ride at Disney's Animal Kingdom, where operators once announced that they would dump visitors into a vat of gators. Okay, it was a funny time, but times have changed. The only alligators that still remain are the real ones at Epcot Center's Living with the Land attraction. That's even more dangerous.
I was gonna say the only ones that remain are the dangerous ones.
right. We got rid of all coloring books.
Yeah.
And oh Lord.
It seems weird. Like if somebody got food poisoning in their park, would they get rid of the apples? Is the
Right.
apple one a Disney one?
Yeah.
Danny, come on. Thank you.
He knows.
It's
We hired
like
a child.
It's a horrible tragedy. Like, that was a horrible tragedy. It was a freak accident, but it's so interesting. Yeah, that we'll be like, we have to get rid of alligators, but I can't think of an appropriate example right now of all the other things we would never apologize for as this country.
Well, we can't keep apologizing, or it means nothing.
Obama's on that apology tour,
Right.
according to the Republicans. He's doing it.
Vistaprint, 500 business cards for $9.99. All right, so you already you used ZipRecruiter. You got your hiring done. You got the best possible candidate. Now get some customers. 500 business cards, $9.99, custom made. I know what you're thinking. Well, that's a deal, but obviously you just give me cards to any business. No, it's custom. It's your business, and you can make it with your design. You can make it with their design, and they will make sure that everything comes out perfect.
And by their design, they really say, write your name here. Don't forget this.
Right.
Here are some suggestions. And then when you do it wrong, because let's face it, hello.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So when you hit submit and you get the cards and they're the wrong color or you misspelled your own name, they know that that's your fault. They'll still make it right. You will get the product that you want.
Right. Let's say you give somebody cards as a gift. Then you find out they got married. And there's a new name. No problem. That's on Vistaprint's time. Don't worry about
You
it.
could still be a good friend.
Right.
I like how you were reading my Twitter feed, but you still didn't know what my last name was.
I don't label. And that goes
With
to names
names.
even.
I don't label people with names.
Everyone's
still-
you.
He's still calling his dog it. So we know.
I was talking to somebody the other day about Molly. I go, you know Molly. And they're like, Molly who? And I go, oh, God.
Oh, God.
500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Use code KATG at checkout. That's up to a 50% savings over regular site pricing. The quality is great. They're easy to customize, and you can beat the price. You can't even beat the price. Stop it. You're going to beat the price. Try. 500 business cards, $9.99. Visit Vistaprint.com. Design your custom business cards. Enter code KATG at checkout. That's it. Code KATG. This is a chance to get that professional look on any budget. Do not wait. Go to Vistaprint.com and order today. You're welcome. It'd be nice to thank me, but you don't have to. Do you remember the story we said some time ago? A teenager in Massachusetts was convincing her boyfriend to kill himself. He sent their boyfriend dozens of text messages encouraging him to take his own life. He filled his truck up with carbon monoxide and started typing, "I'm going to get out. I can't do this anymore." And she's like, "Go back in. Do something with your life finally. Finish it. Finish a project." And so he goes back in. He goes back in, dies. Then, of course, the text, they end up in the hands of the cops. And she's saying it was free speech.
Do people know what free speech means?
No,
That is grim.
Does that?
they don't know what it means.
She's
It's
17.
really just, I could say anything. Molly, I'm going to kill you today. Like by the end of this show, you're going to be bleeding from me. But just saying. Free speech. Like literally, I'm just saying.
PC culture run amok. I can't threaten to kill somebody right now.
Yeah, hello. Gross.
17. She's 17. The boy was 18.
She is so, imagine this is your kid. What the fuck?
Yeah. Talk to your children about not sending texts like that.
I thought you wanted to do this. The time is right, and you're ready. You just need to do it. And guys are so confused. And then I'll fuck you, I promise.
She thought she was a life coach, but she's a death coach.
They're bringing back Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I'll tell you what has run amok is 90s nostalgia. Too much.
That's what's ruining America.
That's what's ruining America right now.
That's
the real
what Trump
threat.
wants. Make America great, like the 90s.
Yeah, make America the 90s again.
Whoever is in charge of this Crystal Pepsi will not take no for an answer.
What is Crystal Pepsi?
It was a failure in the 90s, like a brief, hot failure that was a national joke, like a big laughing stock. And then now, because all of the millennials my age are in charge of writing all the listicles of the internet, and every third listicle is remember these things from the 90s,
Right.
and every third thing on the listicle is Crystal Pepsi, and now everyone's just whipped up into a frenzy of nostalgia for Crystal Pepsi, and they're bringing it back.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was born in 75, so in the early 90s, I was in high school. So I fell for a lot of 90s things, including the UFO pants, which we must post because you have to see this. And yet, Crystal Pepsi fell to the side.
See,
You could have put them in your dumb pants.
Oh, I could have put 50 in my dumb pants. Wait until you see them.
the first time I had Crystal Pepsi, I was like, this is kind of weird. And the second time, I was like, no, I like this. I'm like the only person alive who liked Crystal Pepsi. I'm not going to get it now because now it's this weird scheme thing. But back then, I was like, yeah.
I think
What is it
there's-
like? Not only do you have the name Coke, but you also want to put like a meth aspect to it as well. Like the Coca-Cola, Crystal, whatever you want to fill in.
I just had Smack Dr. Pepper this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty good. Now, that second time you were drinking it, that was Zima.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If they bring back Zima, I will definitely go to any restaurant and order a Crystal Pepsi and a Zima.
Right.
And just, double fist them.
There was a reference to Zima recently. Is it at BoJack Horseman?
Probably.
This is a word, and other people know it.
No, because I could see Zima coming back, even though it never did well to
Yeah.
begin with. But it sold a ton because people were like, this is my way to drink. It's for younger people. This is my way to drink while still,
Right.
sucking on some candy. Because it was a piece of shit drink.
But it was alcoholic, right?
It was alcoholic. I tried to get drunk one time in high school because I'm like, this is it. It's New Year's, and I'm out and about, and it's Manhattan.
Time for a
And
Zima.
You know what? I am going to get drunk, but I don't know how to drink because everything's disgusting, and alcohol tastes like alcohol. Ooh, what's this Zima? Ugh, I just wanted to puke from the sugar. 1.5, and I was pretending I was drunk because I'm like, this must be it because I drank 1.5. This must be my buzz.
But then they take it away, and these poor guys, the actors on To Catch a Predator, they had to go back to wine coolers.
These actors. on the
They're all free. It can't be real, right? What kind of country would it be real and they're free? Not my America.
Sponsored by Bartles and James.
All right, theradiodispatch.com. That's where you want to go. Theradiodispatch.com. It's a daily. I know what you're thinking. Like, I want to hear about politics every day. But they make it fun, and you learn something. I think I might have even.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was an hour, you assume. Right?
Somebody must have learned something.
You have John. He's written for Rolling Stone, The Nation. I mean, he's appeared on The American Life. You have Molly, 30 Rock. That's more fun. But they'll both be there, whoever you gravitate towards.
The American Life, you say.
The Rolling Stone, Guardian, The Salon, Nation. You know what I'm talking about. The Twitter accounts are at John Knefel. Molly's is at Molly Knefel. So I'm sticking with Knefel.
Still unclear what my last name is.
If they're going with Knefel, I'm going with Knefel. Until that Twitter account changes, nothing's my fault.
That's Keith's catchphrase.
Nothing's my fault.
Ta-dum,
That goes on a hat.
Nothing's my fault.
If anybody kicks you out of a restaurant for wearing my hat, nothing's my fault. You call me toot sweet.
Keith, I think in this country, your skin says nothing's my fault.
Thank you. You guys say the sweetest things. It got a little heated, and you leave with a compliment. Thank you. All right.
And I'd like to see you in a pink suit tomorrow.
But something to offset it.
Right.
Yellow.
Be nice on people's eyes.
Has Keith ever used the phrase "something to offset it"?
Yeah, I mean, he apparently is a fashion consultant. He's worn the exact same outfit for the entire time I've known him, but...
Exact same number of sleeves.
0 plus 0 equals 0.
You are a teacher. Thanks, Molly. Follow us on social media.